everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Lauren and myself and my boyfriend Chris moved to the Philippines in March this year. We originally moved to Makati and in October this year we signed a 12-month lease on our condo here in BGC. I have done a full video of the tour of our condo if you want to go and check it out, and that does include the cost of the condo. However, I had a lot of people asking how much our utilities cost, how much in general we spend living in the Philippines, so that's what we're going to cover in today's video. I just want to start this video by saying this video is not intended to brag or to make anybody feel bad about their position in life. The aim of this video is to hopefully be educational, to help those people that are looking at moving to the Philippines so that they can understand what the monthly costs are of living here, specifically in BGC. For those of you that don't know, BGC is one of the most expensive areas within all of the Philippines, but it is also one of the most developed areas within all of the Philippines, which is partially the reason that we chose to live here and use BGC as our base, as it has excellent infrastructure, which explains the higher price. The biggest expense that we have every single month is our rent. So we're in a 56 square metre corner unit condo, and our rent is 50,000 pesos a month. This includes our association dues, and it also includes access to the gym and a pool in our building. I've personally had a lot of mixed views on the cost of our rent. Some people saying it's very expensive, some people saying that we got a really good price. From my research that I have done, it is a very reasonable price for BGC, but it is a very expensive price for the Philippines. And unfortunately, a lot of Filipinos can't afford to live here in BGC. There are Filipinos here in BGC, but there is also a lot of foreigners here in BGC. I think the rule for BGC is around 1,000 pesos per square metre is the rough guideline that they say to follow. So I personally think that we got a really good deal. We're really happy here. I forgot to mention as well, our condo came fully furnished. We had new bits of furniture added in. So for us, it's perfect. The next cost that we weren't too sure what it was going to be was electric. For our electric, we pay around 9,000 pesos a month. So for context, for us, we have 2 air conditioning units within our condo. We rarely have them both on at the same time. We only usually have 1 aircon unit on at a time, but in general they're probably running for about 20 hours a day, so we have them on nearly all day long. We personally do sleep with the aircon on. On top of that, we have an electric stove, so we use this a lot. Being Westerners, I'm always cooking like jacket potatoes, crispy potatoes, loads of things like that, so we always have the oven on for a couple of hours a day also. We also have a washing machine and a tumble dryer within our condo. Again, both are on multiple times a week. And then on top of that, Chris has got his PC set up, which I am sure also takes up a lot of electricity. So some people might think that's really expensive for electricity, some people might think that it's quite cheap. For us, compared to England, we think it's a good price. It's a difficult one again to compare. In England, we only ever had the heating on in the winter months, and we also had a 3-bedroomed house, but we used to pay a lot more than that. So for us, we're quite happy paying that amount. Our next bill is our gas. This is only 158 pesos a month, so this one is super cheap. And then we also have our water bill, which is 615 pesos a month. I think for all of the Philippines, this is quite expensive. Let me know in the comments if I am correct with this, but I have heard that a lot of the companies, the minute they know you're in BGC, they put the price up. So electricity is more expensive in BGC, gas is more expensive in BGC, and water is more expensive in BGC. I don't know how true that is. but that for us is a really good price for water. In England, I think we were paying £40 or £50 a month, and that's just short of £10. So for us, that's really good. We obviously shower multiple times a day. We don't drink the water. We do buy bottles of water to drink, but we use the water to do washing up and things like that. For our internet, we spend 2,699 pesos a month. I don't know loads about the internet. I just know that it's with PLDT, and knowing Chris, it's probably the best package that you could get. For those of you that don't know, Chris is a trader. He trades stocks and shares. So he trades every single day. He trades mostly on American time, but he has a massive setup on his computer, and obviously he needs super fast internet to be able to trade successfully, because if he's a couple of seconds behind, it can massively impact the trading. So knowing Chris, he will have got the best package. I will ask him about it later, and I'll put details in the description of what kind of package we are getting. I know you can get internet for much cheaper. Again, it just depends on your needs. We needed super fast Wi-Fi. The internet was the only thing that we needed to sort when moving into our condo, and I think it was quite a simple process, and it was installed within a couple of days, which was amazing. So it meant that we could get it installed before we moved in, whereas people from England will know that it can sometimes take up to 4 weeks to get internet installed in your house when you are moving, so that's not always the best. For us, the cost of the internet is a similar price to what we paid in England. However, the internet is so much better. I don't know if it's just because we lived in the countryside or what, but our internet in England was so slow, and the internet here is exceptional. So if you are somebody that maybe is a trader like Chris, or is planning on doing remote working, I will happily vouch for BGC's internet and their internet speeds. I cannot fault them at all. So they're our main utility bills and rent for our condo. The next bills that I'm going to cover are very subjective. It all comes down to you as an individual as to what you're going to do. So these numbers are the kind of numbers that I think are a good guide, but you can also spend a lot more money, and you can also spend a lot less money. But for us, for our groceries, we spend around 20,000 pesos a month. This includes all of our cleaning products and our toiletries as well. I personally do my shopping at Landmark. Again, you can go to much cheaper places than Landmark. You can go to the weekend markets, you can go to the wet markets. There's so many different places that you can go. However, I personally just like the ease of Landmark. They have a mixture of imported goods and local goods. For me, I personally really like this, as I do like some of the imported goods. It's nice to have a few home comforts. So the fruit and veg selection in there is amazing. We found the meat from the butcher section to be very good quality. So we do kind of just end up getting everything from there. So I guess if you were to shop around, you could probably get things cheaper. Like if you were probably to go to Watson's, you can probably get your toiletries a little bit cheaper. If you go to like the SM supermarket, I can't think exactly what that's called. Even just in BGC, if you went to Market where you could get your fruit and veg, you could probably pull that cost down. Again, that cost covers 2 adults. And my boyfriend Chris really enjoys going to the gym and is very aware of his macros. So he not only eats quite a lot of food, he eats a lot of protein. So Chris can go through 500 grams of chicken a day. So again, this price can change massively for each individual. We eat in 90% of the time, so I cook 90% of the time, so our eating out cost is quite low compared to somebody that maybe wants to eat out a lot more. For our eating out, we budget around the 5,500 pesos a month. for us, we'll either go out for one really nice meal or we might potentially go out for 2 meals. But again, you can go out for a meal in the food courts in the Philippines for around 400-500 pesos. So you can get loads of meals out of that if you want. We personally like to make an occasion of going and eating out. So we like to go to nice restaurants, we like to have the full service and everything like that. And like I said, I cook the rest of the time so that Chris can monitor his macros. But there are, especially in BGC, you can eat out for cheap and you can eat out for expensive. There is so many options of different places where you can go and eat out. Our last 2 monthly costs that I'm going to include in this video is transport and our phones. For our phones, we spend 4,500 pesos a month, but this does actually include a contract price for a phone on a contract from England, which includes the UK SIM card and also paying off the phone. So we both still have our UK SIM cards. These are our main SIM cards that we use in our phones. So on top of this contract, we also both have eSIMs. So we pay for eSIMs every single month so that we can have data on our phones, but we keep our UK numbers. That is our choice, that's what we wanted to do, it's what we find the easiest. As we don't plan on living in the Philippines forever, for us, we didn't want to lose our UK numbers, have a Filipino number and then not have a UK number again. We do have what we call a burner phone. It's just an old iPhone that we have put a Filipino SIM card in. So we do have a Filipino number, but we only really use that for like deliveries and things like that. So we do have a Filipino number, but we don't really use it. So the cost for our phones is for a UK contract and for 2 eSIMs. I do think if you come out here and get a Filipino SIM card, if you go with Globe or Smart, I think they are 2 main providers, you can get this cost much cheaper. Our final cost is transport. So transport I think is a difficult one. So we don't have a vehicle, we just use Grab, and it very much depends. So when we didn't live in BGC, we probably would spend around 3,000 pesos a month on transport. Whereas last month we only spent around 1,000 pesos on transport. When I was planning this video, I just went off all of our spends from last month. So last month, like I said, we only spent 1,000 pesos on transport. As we have only just moved into BGC, we spent the month exploring most of BGC. So we were quite happy to walk all the way around BGC to try all the different malls here. There was still so much of BGC that we hadn't seen. BGC is extremely pedestrian friendly. So me and Chris like to go walking. So we will happily go for an hour's walk every single day. So we'll go around BGC. I'm happy to walk to the shop and carry the shopping bag. So in that sense, there isn't really a need to go out of BGC. So it does massively keep your transport costs down. But like, if I have events with brands, obviously I will go out of BGC. There is going to be weekends that we want to go and explore other parts of Manila. So again, I think this cost is massively going to change. Because we have been here since March, we did a lot of exploring those first few months. We went to the weekend markets, we went across to Intramuros, we've been across to the national museums, like we've been across to Manila Bay, to Mall of Asia. So those places we probably will go back to at some point, but I guess our costs are slightly reduced because we're at that more settled point that we're quite happy just doing everything that we need to do in BGC. We use the Grab cars, which are more expensive. If you are happy to go on the back of a bike, you've obviously got Move It and Grab, and again, that's a cheaper way of getting around. There's also in BGC, the BGC bus, you can find jeepneys, so that again, transport is going to be very subjective to each individual. Month of November, the total of all of our bills came to a total of 93,482 pesos. which is £1,265.33, around $1,600. But obviously this doesn't include any general shopping, buying new clothes, going out for any activities. That is just basically what we kind of budget for our bills every single month. For us, that is a very, very good price, and I know that a lot of Filipinos are going to be shocked at how much we spend. I am aware that we are in a very privileged position to have Western money behind us, so for us that is incredible. What we spend for everything is what our mortgage cost in the UK. We were probably spending about 3 times this price. So we are very lucky to have Western money behind us, and we're very lucky to be in a position that we can have an excellent quality of life here in the Philippines. Hope you have found today's video useful. If anybody has any questions, if they want to know any more information, then please let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!